Good morning, everyone. Please rise. Today, we are going to sing the hymn number 12, Majesty, which is printed on your hymn book, page 30 to 31. Let's sing the hymn once. Majesty, worship His majesty. Unto Jesus be all glory, power, and praise. Majesty, kingdom, authority, from His throne unto His own, He sent the race. So exalt, lift up on high the name of Jesus. Magnify, come glorify, for Jesus the King. Majesty, worship His majesty. Jesus who died, now glorified, King of all kings.
Today's scripture is taken from Psalms chapter 34, verse 3, which is printed on your hymn book, page 5, item number 2. Please listen to God's word. Glorify the Lord with me. Let us exalt His name together. Psalms chapter 34, verse 3. Let's read it together.
Glorify the Lord with me. Let us exalt His name together. Psalms chapter 34, verse 3.
Let's bow and pray. Dear Heavenly Father, we praise you. You are the creator of the world, and you sent Jesus Christ, your only Son, to save us. We are here to worship you and give thanks. Thank you for giving us a fruitful summer holiday so that we can take a break. Thank you for giving us peace and looking after us. As the new academic year resumes, we pray that you bless all the teaching staffs and students. May your glory and love be with us as always. In the name of Jesus we pray. Amen. Please be seated.
Good morning, Principal, Vice and Assistant Principals, teachers and fellow students. We are the Cultural Exchange Ambassadors. I'm Joey from 5D.
I'm Mickey from 5C. Today, we are honored to have two guests, Tacy and Mei Ling, to share their special experience with us.
Our new graduates, Tacy Chen, is one of the 100 youth ambassadors recruited in the celebration of the 20th anniversary of the establishment of the HKSAR. She was the only secondary student being recruited.
And her teammate, Mei Ling Wong, who now working in a leading local cultural tourism company called Walk in Hong Kong.
They are the young ambassadors. They assist the government in various international conferences and activities to promote Hong Kong's hospitality. They also participate in international exchange programs.
May we first invite our principal, Ms. Chen, to present the souvenir to Tacy and Mei Ling, please.
Hope you like it. Maybe we take the picture together.
Thank you, Ms. Chen. Before we start our program, may we invite our principal, vice and assistant principals to proceed to the auditorium to enjoy the program.
Just one amendment. Tacy is one of the 3 secondary school students being selected, not the only one. But out of the 100 total, there are 100 ambassadors. Only 3 come from the secondary school section. Thank you. Thank you.
Can't wait to hear the sharing. Let's give a big hand to them.
So good morning, everyone.
Hi, good morning.
Today we are going to share some of our experiences throughout the year joining the 20YA program. So basically, it is the youth ambassadors in celebration of the 20th anniversary of the establishment of the Hong Kong Special Administrative Region program. So I know it's a very long name, so sometimes we just call it 20YA. And it is formally the IYEP program, which is an international youth exchange program organized by the Home Affairs Bureau as well as the Commission on Youth. And this year, because it's the 20th anniversary of the return of Hong Kong to China, so we strengthened the program into 20 AYA program.
Tacy, I saw you.
Yes. Can you see me unveiling in Ireland? It's also part of our program. So the aim of it is to actively promote the active participation of youth in Hong Kong and to widen our international perspectives. There are sometimes some trainings before the trip and some trainings for us to learn some antiques or some presentation skills, some team building skills, which some para trainings and camps will be held.
As well as learning how to be polite when you are visiting a guest or the guest coming in to visit you.
Yeah, do you know, we actually got some workshop learning how to shake hands. For example, sometimes when some really prestigious royal people would give hand like this, and you need to hold it like this. And yeah, so that's some of the workshops that we had. And about the opportunities for us, it's the inbound trip. So most of the YA would receive the opportunity to accommodate and to welcome some foreign exchange students. So for us, it's the Irish delegates.
So the Irish delegates came to Hong Kong 3 to 4 weeks ago. And then what would you do when you have some overseas guests to come to Hong Kong and visit you? Probably you bring them to Mong Kok for food or to Causeway Bay for shopping. But can you think of some meaningful or interesting parts of Hong Kong to show your foreign friends? Like what we were doing is to bring them to the History Museum in Tsim Sha Tsui. And then we have a welcoming lunch session for them to meet all the organizers of this program. And you can take a look on the right-hand side. We were cutting the vegetables in the Food Angel, which is in Cheung Sha Wan. And we would like to bring them some new insights, which they can help, which they can do, like what are we youngsters doing in Hong Kong, like some voluntary services. Okay, so at the bottom part, we brought them to have a taste on the tram in Hong Kong and on Hong Kong Island. We also brought them to some universities like University of Hong Kong and Hong Kong Baptist University, where I came from. And then we brought them to Mayhall House as well to take a look to some public housing estates in the past and how it transformed into a new one today. And then this one. you can see a lot of Irish delegates. They were having performances in PolyU, and then which is one of the DIY program organized by 100 young ambassadors in Hong Kong, like me and Tazy. So we were the ceremony, which is a award presentation ceremony to given to those awardee taken part in mobile phone video filming ceremony, award presentation ceremony. So we would like to invite them to have a fantastic performance. Some of them playing guitar and some of them singing the traditional Irish songs. And then the most exciting part for the Irish delegates probably is the ocean park visits. They like the rides very much. You can see they were riding on a roller coaster, and then to the Symphony of Lights in Chimchachi, and also the Science Park to have a taste on what the young entrepreneurs doing in the Science Park and the new technology in Hong Kong. So here comes the outbound trip, Tazy.
Okay, so after the inbound trip, it actually widens the Irish delegates' size because, like, most of them are living in rather countryside of their country, of their nation, and those roller coaster or our skyscraper would actually really surprise them, and so it's our turn to go to Ireland and experience those that would really surprise us too. Like we go into the countryside, we learn the Irish traditional dance, and what actually I love about our outbound trip is the home visit, because we divide ourselves into small groups and we go to some Irish delegates' home and to really talk to the family, to interact with them. And for me, we share something about the housing problem in Hong Kong and to compare it with the situation in Ireland. And I find it so interesting because in Ireland, living in an apartment is actually something so luxurious and something they would call it really chic. But in Hong Kong, people would admire those really big houses and what they have normally. And
Well, Tazy, let me ask you one question.
Okay.
Like, have you ever greet your neighbors who is living next to you, next door?
well, sometimes, occasionally, maybe.
Probably you don't know their name or even their surnames, right?
Yeah.
So, but when we were doing the home visit in Ireland, like the Irish delegate brought me to one of her neighbors who live like 200 meters far away from her home, and then to visit this old man, grandpa, like. So this is my Irish delegate who took me to his home, and then he's a farmer. We got to his home for tea before the lunch in 15 minutes, and then he is a farmer, and then I promised him to bring some some seeds of the tea
leaves.
Yeah, the tea leaves, because he would like to grow some Hong Kong tea leaves in his garden. So I will send some tea leaves to him probably later week.
So you can see, like, the Irish really, they were passionate about some small things, and they would treasure each relationship that you can build with them. And like Mei-Ling can now still communicate and keep contact with the Irish delegates as well as like every one of us. So we also visit the Lord Mayor in the city that we stayed in. I forgot to tell you guys, like we didn't actually go to Dublin, the main city, but we went to a city called Cork, and
In the southern part of Ireland,
Yeah.
as coastal city.
Yes, and we stayed at the University College of Cork. So
So what did we do with Lord Mayor Tazy?
we just talked with the Lord Mayor, and at first we were so nervous because to meeting a government official is something we would deem as really serious. But the Lord Mayor is just like a friend, and he would like to just share more about Cork to us.
And actually, we have two themes this year, which is social innovation and youth participation. So what we were doing in Ireland, or even they came to Hong Kong, we have to stick to these two themes, properly asking, interviewing them what they think about these two themes and what do you actually do in Ireland, any similar things or different things from Hong Kong what we are doing. So we ask these two questions to the Lord Mayor, and he answered us very properly. What you were doing there?
Okay, so you can see like we wear some helmets and some special gears with us. That was the day for us to go kayaking, and to be honest, it was really hard because that day the temperature was only 12 degrees, and we actually need to jump into the sea suddenly.
The Atlantic Sea, right?
Yeah, it was like a surprise part of the kayaking experience.
Super cold.
But like after the kayaking experience, we actually like the bonding between the Hong Kong delegates and the Irish delegates did grow really stronger.
Yeah. Ooh, we don't. You know swimming, but I don't know swimming. Okay, for this year we have two DIY programs. You all know what is DIY, right? We design and we initiate the programs by ourselves. The 100 young ambassadors in Hong Kong. This is the smartphone filming competition award presentation that I just mentioned. You can see the Irish delegates were performing on the stage in PolyU, and then what we do for this presentation is that we organize from 0 to 1. 1 is 100%, well done, and then 0 is we dig from the root, and then start everything like to contact the external parties and to communicate with the internal organizations to make this happen. And these young ambassadors were in pink polo shirt and blue jeans. These are the young ambassadors in Hong Kong. Some of them are young entrepreneurs, and some of them are fresh graduates, and some of them like just three of them like Tacy, who is just graduated from secondary school. And the second DIY project is the family photo shooting campaign, which has happened 2 days ago, like Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, just this weekend, last weekend. We designed this this truck, and then we designed the posters and a coach scheme for this happened on. This bus traveled to 4 districts in Hong Kong: Sha Tin, Tuen Mun, Siu Sai Wan, and then Wong Tai Sin. The bus and the young ambassadors were staying there to help those underprivileged families to take family photos, because they seldom have chance to take photos together, and I took up the makeup part for them. Like some old people, old women, they would like to make themselves prettier before they took the shooting. And the theme is 依家上映, which is is a very happy theme. So reflections, what we have learned through all this year, like taking part in conferences, in trainings, meeting international people and officials, and as well as organizing DIY programs all by ourselves. Like we learned that nothing is impossible. If you think you can, you really can. As long as you have a very, very strong mind, strong concept, because you have a large group of teammates who can help you to make this happen, right?
Sure. And like for Mei Ling, she's actually one of the core member in our YA program. So she always needs to go to our meetings with the government officials. And you know, like when it comes to government things, you get banned by over and over. Like they have really awesome ideas, but it's always the case that you would get banned and your ideas would be like vanished in the
Yes,
air.
it's really common and normal things to be banned by other people because there are always limitations and constraints when you come through these processes. But I think this is a lesson for you to learn how to be successful and how can you make this happen with your strong thoughts. And then never doubt about yourself because no one is useless, right? You're born here and then you have your special talents and skills that the one sitting next to you don't have. So trust in yourself and if you have dream, don't doubt. Yeah.
So for me, I would just do it short. For me, because I was one of the youngest youth ambassadors, so when I first go into the room and like self-introduction and the orientation, I was like kind of terrified because I was the only one wearing uniform too. So everyone just remembers, oh, the uniform one, and I would need to really like jump out of my comfort zone and to present myself, to say proudly that I'm from Munson College, and also to like do what I can because they are really nice to me, and like everyone would trust in me, not just like, oh, you're a secondary school student, so we won't give this responsibility on you. No, but like everyone have the same responsibility to make the DIY project works and to bear our responsibility to join the overseas exchange program as well. Like you can see, our exchange program is not just about a trip. It's like we need to do some social work, and also we did our cultural performance in elderly homes, and also we did some presentation about Hong Kong as well. So there are a lot of like preparation work to do. Another thing that I learned is the time management because when I first entered the program, it was the time that I got my DSE. So to balance the time to like apart from doing the YA stuffs and to study, it's also important to relax yourself, to take rest. Like for some of you guys, you'll be having your public exam soon, but never forget to take some rest and take good care of yourselves. And so,
well, talking about responsibility, I think when you entered university, you will hear a term like called free rider, or anyone who is free rider here. I believe there's no one, right? Don't be a free rider. Even though you think you're so busy and you have a very tight schedule, but once you got this responsibility, do it and finish it. No matter how, you have to bear in mind that you are the next leaders in Hong Kong. So don't be free riders because you have to get things completed before you take rest. So this is a friendly reminder. So thank you for your attention and have cheer.
Okay.
Yeah, we've got a lot of interviews, like internal interviews and interviews in the 政府總部. And then for a lot of times and a very huge panels, they are sitting just in front of you, asking you questions and asking you 邊個呢度10個人 你哋會揀邊一個被淘汰啊？咁樣 and then you have to think how to answer this question properly and politely, and then to get yourself into this program. So a lot of challenging questions, right?
There are also something that I learned from the interview. Like from the start of it, I'm already learning because like these kind of tough questions, they don't really expect for a model answer, but rather you need to stay calm and like just say something like you can explain it properly. Like when you give an answer, they don't expect you for a very exact answer or any that they have in mind, but rather a creative one and something that can show your personality. So,
yourself?
Yeah, about the application process. For me or any other secondary school student, you basically need to be nominated by your institution. Like for me, I was nominated by Vincent College, and for university students, they also need to pass through some interview in their university, and they will select one to go to the selection by the government. And for some surveys organization like the
There are some youth organizations in Hong Kong, so please involve yourself into one of these youth organizations to explore more and to meet more new people in these organizations, because you never know, there are one teacher next to you and then she or he can teach you a lot of things and to bring you new insight. For university students, like, you have to check your mailbox email very frequently, because a lot
check
of
your e-class as well.
Yes, because when you miss this email, then you cannot be a young ambassadors anymore. So take a look on your email. Don't put them in the trash bin.
So for more details, you can follow our Facebook, not our,
Home
like
Affairs
the
Bureau
Home
Hong
Affairs
Kong.
Bureau Hong Kong and the Commission on Youth. So you will get more details about our program as well as other
youth
competitions and other youth programs that you might be interested in. So that's our presentation.
Thank
and
you. Thank you so
for
much.
your attention.
Thank you, Tasty and Mei Ling. And please proceed to the auditorium and enjoy the following sessions.
Last year, one of our students joined a one-year exchange program to Sweden to experience the local culture and lifestyle.
Now, let's invite 5C Choi Chat Ying Ann to share her meaningful journey with us.
Testing. God morgon allihopa, jag heter Anne och jag har varit i Sverige i sista år. Good morning everyone, my name is Anne and last year I've been in Sweden for exchange year and today I'm going to share you about all my experience. I live in a city called Karlstad and it is located next to the biggest lake in Sweden, and I live in an area called Lamberget, and it is a small area and so we're close to each other. And here's my family. There is my older brother, my younger sister, and my younger brother. And we spend a lot of time together and do different things. And over there is me and my sisters trying to learn Mandarin and Swedish. Because my sister was learning Mandarin, so I was teaching her Mandarin and she was teaching me Swedish. And here we are ice skating and we built an igloo and we sang Christmas carols together at home during a festival called Lucia. And here is my brother. And when I was leaving Sweden, and my brother hid inside the luggage and hoped that I can bring him home to Hong Kong. And here are my friends. I have friends from school, from exchange program, from my neighborhood as well. And here me and my friends graduating from grade 9, which is Form 3. And this is my German friend, and this is my Turkish friend. And me and my friend traveled to other cities in Sweden as well. And this old guy over here is a guy in my neighborhood, and he owns a boat. So in summer, he often bring me to have boat trips. And now come to school. We go to a different classroom for different lessons, so we don't have a homeroom. And we don't use textbook, and we have only computers. And we have rather early lunch during, before 12 o'clock. And our schedule is different. Like, in university, the schedule is different every day, the time slot and the lessons. So it's similar to the university timetable. And now I'm going to talk about how to live like a Swede, like some weird things about Sweden and yeah. So some habit. Swedes love drinking milk, and for an average adolescent, they would drink about 2 to 3 glasses of milk every day. And And there's something called fika, and fika is something like afternoon tea. And instead of pineapple bun, people would eat cinnamon bun like this. And you might have seen it in IKEA before. And Swedes love to embrace the sun, even if it's cold outside. So we would, even if it's winter, it's snowing, and it's negative 10 degrees, we would wear our jacket and we would go outside to do something outdoor. And we do a lot of outdoor activities. And here comes to some weird food. Here's something called licorice. And this is a black candy, which is salty and quite not tasty. And here's surströmming. Surströmming is 草鱼. I don't know if you have heard about it, but it smells like toilet and it's disgusting. But even local doesn't like it, but it's kind of a tradition for them. And here's a sandwich cake, which is we would eat it in functions like wedding, graduation, and yeah. And here's caviar. It's fish eggs, 魚子醬. And we used to eat it with eggs and or sandwiches. And there is the weird combination of curry, banana, and pizza. I don't know why they have that. And for festivals, during Christmas, I have received the most present ever in my life in Sweden. From the 1st of December towards the Christmas day, I received one present every day. And I'm really impressed about that. And here's the pastry that we use to celebrate Christmas. It's called lucicat. It includes saffron and raisins. And over here, we are burning a pile of wood in a festival called Fåbari. And there we celebrate the coming of spring. And here we dance and sing around the statue and to celebrate the coming of midsummer. And here is the Easter egg I received in April. And I got some candies. And here I attended a Christmas carol concert. And some big differences between Sweden and Hong Kong. There are cycling paths everywhere, and cycling is a culture between Swedes. Like people would cycle to school, cycle to work, cycle for leisure activities. And I've tried cycling to school, and it takes about half an hour, but it's a refreshing start for the day. And we have relaxing school environment, and teachers, students are encouraged to learn and to participate actively in the lessons. And parents are free from work very early, so my parents they're home generally before 6 o'clock, so we will have a lot of time together during weekdays or even weekends. So they have close parental relationships. And there are forests everywhere. On my way back home from the capital, Stockholm, to my city, Karlstad, all I saw on the highway was forest. And I was really afraid that my city is going to be in the middle of nowhere, but it turns out it's not. And here are some of the first time that I've tried in Sweden. I've assembled an IKEA wardrobe. I've craft pumpkins. I've built a snowman with my sister. I've learned how to ski. I've climbed trees, and I've knit, and I've baked. And for those who know me before, you might notice that I have short hair before. And for the first time ever, I've grown out my hair. And what I've gained during this short 10 months, I've made a lot of friends, as I've said before, friends from school, friends from my community, friends from exchange program, and here are all the exchange students in Sweden. And they're from all over the world, and I've met many friends. And I've gained another family, and my host family, I really miss them a lot when I need to leave. And we spend really a lot of time together for activities. And I've learned Swedish as well. And in the beginning, I never thought that I would learn Swedish, because I was like, Sweden, they can speak English. Why would I need to learn Swedish? But it turns out that they don't. So within that 10 months, I've learned a lot of Swedish. And I've gained experience that are life-changing and mind-blowing. And it has made me more mature and made me more independent. And exchange isn't a year in your life. It's a life in a year. And I would never ever regret about going to Sweden last year. And I hope that all of you would take the chance and go for an exchange. Choose a country and apply now. If you have any questions, you can find me, or you can ask any cultural teachers, or you can go to visit the AFS website. Thank you.
Thank you, Anne, for the wonderful sharing.
Every year, 2 exchange students from different countries are invited to study with us in Munson College.
This year, we are glad to have Carl and Martin to be our schoolmates and share their culture with us. Do you want to know more about them?
Sure, let's invite Kai to introduce himself first.
Chào san, tôi kêu Kai Hoffman, tôi ai 16 歲, tôi ai Sui Si Lai, 但係我媽媽係日本人. Hello, I'm Kai. I'm from Switzerland. I'm the new exchange student, and I'm going to introduce you to Switzerland and tell you something about me. So first, Switzerland is a tiny country located between the big countries in Europe. So in the north, you can see Germany. In the south, you can see Italy. In the west, you can see France. And in the east, you can see Austria. So this is a map of Switzerland. You can see Bern. This is the capital. Zurich, this is actually the biggest city in Switzerland. And this is the province of Zurich, and I live in Pfäffikon. It's a small town with 10,000 people, but it's the biggest city in the region here. And this is Zermatt, so I'm going to introduce you later to Zermatt. So what is Switzerland famous for? Switzerland is famous for its cheese, chocolate. Maybe you've heard of the Swiss Army knife before, Rolex. Somebody has a Rolex here? It's a little bit expensive. And the Alps. So 65% of Switzerland is covered by the Alps. And yeah, so there are mountains everywhere. So the Swiss national dish is fondue. Basically it's cheese and you put some bread inside and eat it with a little bit of pepper, and you can put some mushroom inside as well. So yeah, the Swiss cuisine is very heavy. Usually it's sausage or some kind of potatoes, or yeah, very greasy and very heavy food. So as you can see, this is also very heavy, and it's called fondue. Fondue is from the French-speaking part from Switzerland, so it's pronounced French. So I'm going to introduce you to Zermatt. Zermatt is a little town in the mountainside. It's very touristy, but actually it has its own traditions still. But it's famous for this mountain. Maybe you've seen a picture before. This is one of the most famous sites in Switzerland. So it's called the Matterhorn. It's 4,400, I think, 70 something meters high, and it's the 5th highest mountain in Switzerland. Actually, you can climb here if you want, so you can go and take a rest in the house here. There's a little house, and you can climb here the next day if you want. So I've been there in February with my Japanese grandparents, me and my parents. It was amazing. Actually, I live in Switzerland, but I don't go so often here because it's pretty far away in mountainside, but it's beautiful. So maybe you know the Toblerone, that's the Swiss chocolate with a very unique triangular shape, and this shape is inspired by this mountain. Just fun fact. So also very unique is the Swiss language. Actually, it's related to German, but it has its own words. And I'm going to teach you 4 words today so you can impress your Swiss friends. The first word is the word for chaos. I think this is only in my accent or in my province you use this word, so try to pronounce Grüßi Müsi. Yeah, very difficult to pronounce, right? So the next one is a language you cannot understand. So for you, Swiss German is Kauterwelsch. Yeah, pretty good, pretty good. The next one, this is the classic one. So if you want to impress a Swiss friend, this one is just a classic one, and if you are able to pronounce this, it's very cool. Kuchikastli. Yeah, and the last one is being picky with food. I think this is only in my dialect, in my province, so this is a very local word, Schnatterfressig. Yes. So this is very unique language. So about me, I'm going to show you some pictures and comment these pictures. So these are all related to my hobbies. That's me, and that's a Japanese prince of the royal family. So I'm in the Japanese school in Switzerland, and for 3 years ago, he visited my Japanese school. So I usually go 2 hours per week to this Japanese school now for 10 years. So, and he visited our school. That was a very big event, and I could meet him. He was just 1 meter standing in front of me. That was crazy. My other hobbies are Boy Scouts. Yeah, you see me in uniform here. So here I just got the leader pipe. In Switzerland, we get a pipe, I'd say whistle, or I don't know, this thing you can just like. So if you get leader, you get this. So I just got it here. I think Boy Scouts is very different in Switzerland than here because it's so free. It's like a fun club, not like military. So once a week, there is a appointment or a meeting of all the Boy Scout children and the leaders. That's my friend and me, we are leaders. So the leaders prepare a program for the children. For example, searching for some treasure or something like that. So we dress up and we create a story. And that's me, he's dressed up as a, I don't know. So yeah, these are my friends. You just saw him. He's my buddy, so he lives in the same town, and these 4 people, they are in the same class as me, so they came to the airport, and I really miss them a lot. So this is my grandmother. She lives in the same town. She likes reading. Yeah, she lives in the same town, so once in 2 weeks, I visit her for eating dinner or lunch with her. That's not usual in Switzerland. Usually you just meet them for Christmas, but you know, she's in the same town, so. And she didn't want me to come to Hong Kong because she said, yeah, I'm not gonna live forever, so yeah, just stay in Switzerland, don't go Kai, no, like this. And this is my buddy, yeah, he lives in the same town, just few houses away from my house, so he visits me a lot and I spend a lot of time with him. This is actually in a clothes store, and we just dress up and took a picture in the suits. These are my parents. This is my father, obviously, and this is my mother. She is Japanese, so I can speak Japanese. And this is my father is half Hungarian and half Swiss, but he cannot speak Hungarian. So, well, this is in Slovakia in our summer holidays. Yes, my father is psychologist and he likes to drive with his motor vehicle, and my mother is hairdresser. She has her own hairdresser room in our house. I live in a house. It's usual in Switzerland, and she likes to play the cello. So this is another picture in Austria. We visited Austria. This is Salzburg. This is the big castle of Salzburg. School life. Yeah, I think school life is very, very different to Switzerland. After lunch, we can usually just use the rooms for listening to music, studying, or chatting with friends, or just eating some snack like this. And yes, you can even lock the room so nobody can come inside. And there are no windows to look inside the room. No. And this is the geography teacher. This year he got retired, so we just decided to take a selfie. So we can use our phone during the break in Switzerland. It's a little bit different. We have Wi-Fi, but everyone is just using the phone during the break, so you cannot chat with others because they are always like this. And this is my host family. I'm very happy. They are so supportive, and I very like them a lot. The grandparents, the aunt with the, I don't know, just they're amazing. And I love Chinese food, so I don't like Swiss food. It's so heavy and so greasy. These are the sources. So I'm really looking for I'm really looking forward to spend a nice year with you guys. If you have any questions, just don't hesitate to ask me, and you can say hello to me everywhere. So thank you. I'm gonna pass the mic to Martin. Yes, yes. Yeah, so 1 week ago I was sleeping in the library and you woke me up, but but I had to prepare the presentation the day before, so I was very tired.
Thank you, Kai. Well, hello everybody. First of all, I'd like to start off by saying that I prepared my presentation, or my prezi here, to last 4 minutes, which is what they told me it would be. So it's not going to be as long as Kai's one, where I spent like 30 minutes talking about one picture. So I'm sorry if I disappoint. But anyway, so yeah, I don't actually have pictures because I intended to be quick. So, well, I'm going to start in Cantonese. Gu Martin. Jong ma ming hai kong ma kan. So then, Gam Ling Sap Soy. I actually have notes for this. So then, Lazy Saipana. Dan Hai Hai London Chosai. Mami Hai Basayan. Dan Keisan Hai Fakoyan. Thank you. So pretty much that's all I can say as in presentation of myself in Cantonese, but I know other stuff. And well, I'm going to talk to you a bit about my family, school, and well, quickly life in Spain, what it was for me. So, well, I was born in 2002 in London, as I said in Cantonese. Well, I'm the firstborn of a family of 4 kids, all boys. So it's kind of like Krusi Musin, which is chaos if you remember well. No? Okay, anyway. And I moved to Spain in 2011, January, because of my dad's work. And the truth is, I like Spain much more than England for various reasons. First of all, the weather, which is amazing in Spain. Well, it's kind of a shock here in Hong Kong because it's actually, well, comparing the two, it's 45 degrees in Spain, but it's dry. And here in Hong Kong, it's like 30, but it's humid. So in Spain, when I moved, but also in England, I was always in the French educative system. And in 2014, well, your equivalent to Form 2, I actually skipped a class, which gave me the opportunity to do this exchange year, since I wouldn't be penalized by actually losing a year and being with younger peers than me for my last year. Anyway, since I was in like middle school, I have had particular interests in many things. Well, in sports, I have always liked, well, football. Some of you may know that. And I played for Atletico de Madrid's youth team for 3 years before being asked to leave because I have a kind of a back problem, which makes it hard for me to play football during long periods of time. But then I also really much enjoy mathematics and physics. And last year, in particular, I started doing robotics, and I actually signed up to the RoboCup Spain Junior, and I managed to win it, so I'm very proud of that. So now I'll be going to, well, famous Spanish traditions. I don't have the time to do like Spanish food, all of that. I may do it another time if I have the opportunity to do another presentation, which I would very much enjoy. But I think Spain is, well, known for its traditions, and so I'm going to present a few of them to you. So does anyone know any of these traditions right here? You can just raise your hands, you don't have to speak. Yeah, Theo. Okay, so first of all, I'll be talking about the tomatina, What the hell? Oh, sorry. So this one is one of the most known traditions in Spain. It's, well, do you know this? No? I know some of the people backstage know it, but anyway. So the tomatina is a Spanish tradition that starts the last Wednesday of August every single year in a little town called Buñol in Spain near the province of Valencia. And so basically, well, I'll tell you a bit the legend behind it. So there was this one guy that was playing the guitar in the town, and so some teenagers thought his singing was horrible. So they threw tomatoes at him. But then, like, the people watching actually thought that the guy was singing well. So they threw tomatoes back. And, well, the legend says that that is what started the tradition of the whole town throwing tomatoes at each other. And, well, the truth is that it looks very fun. I never had the opportunity to actually have part in the tomatina. But it's great, and it's something that I really look forward to doing in the future. So then, well, this. So if you don't know, this is flamenco, which is the dancing style that's very particular and special in Spain. It was actually born during, well, not born. It is the product of the cultural mix that Spain underwent during the Muslim occupation of the south of Spain, so Andalusia. And so it's a combination of dance, singing, and just clapping, because it's like sounds. And it's very harmonious. Well, it's very beautiful anyway. And it's very sensual and an erotic dance because, well, one of the stereotypes of Spain are, of course, that people are very lazy because of the siesta. If you know what it is, basically it's a period where people sleep 2 to 3 hours during the afternoon when it's too hot to go outside. But also that they are very passionate lovers. And so this is where this dance comes from, pretty much. Then the next one is Las Fallas. This one is actually one of the most interesting ones. It actually takes place from the 14th to the 19th of March. And it started with carpenters that actually, before spring, used to burn all of their wood to purify it to have a good year. And now it has become a tradition where everyone in Valencia would just create these big wooden statues and burn them before spring to like give them a good year without problems and chase the spirits away and all that stuff. And the last one, which is also probably one of the most known ones, is bullfighting. So this is very fun. If you have ever gone to a bullfighting, show, arena, you'll know it is amazing. It is terrifying. I think 2 weeks ago, one of the most famous Spanish toreadors was actually got to death because he tripped on his cape. That's a fun fact. And, it's something that every town in Spain has and organizes on its own. And, the prize for winning, actually, the spectators vote. After they kill the bull, they can choose whether the toreador goes home with the ears or the tail of the bull, which is like the equivalent of their currency, something like that. It's to up their reputation. And another thing that involves bulls that Spain does is actually bull running. So you've probably seen this already. It's every town closes all the streets and leaves one path throughout the city leading to the arena where they later do the bullfighting, and they assemble all the bulls on one side. They detonate fireworks and stuff like that to make them run, and people actually run in front of the bulls and try to survive. And it's very fun. I actually assisted one. A guy got hit by a horn in the back and actually had to go to the hospital, but you have to be plus 18 to be able to participate in these activities, so I can't anyway. So then, I would also like to mention something, which is that when we did our rehearsal last week, I did this, and Kai kind of copied the idea. But anyways, he taught you krusi musi, stuff like that, chaos, which isn't really relevant in real life. So I got this, which is a few sentences. And the last one, like, I wanted to ask you a question, like, if there's one sentence you would like to know in Spanish that I might teach you. So I left it blank. But, so the first one is, hola, buenos días. So the ones on the left-hand side are the, formal ways. And the ones on the right are informal ways to greet friends. So, well, friends, basically. So, if you don't mind saying it with me, no? So it's hola, buenos días, so that's the formal one, so go ahead. Louder. Then, hey chaval, that's like, hey dude, what's up? Then, ¿cómo estás? ¿Qué pasa, tronco? That's like, how are you? Well, this one on the left is the formal one, that one is the informal one, so you can just write down whichever you want. So it's, ¿cómo estás? For those who want to. And then, ¿qué pasa, tronco? For the other one. Then, goodbye. It's like, adios and ciao. But I was told that here in Cantonese, ciao is like foul language, so I might not say that. Then thank you is gracias. And then, well, this one is actually to order food, because it's one of the hard things to do when you're in a country and you don't have a dictionary. And so if you go to Spain, I don't want you to starve. So basically, quiero una tortilla. Well, these are a few of the famous dishes Spain is known for. So tortilla is basically a potato omelette, which is very easy, simple, and delicious, to be honest. So quiero una tortilla. Then paella is a seafood dish that originates from Valencia too. And then gazpacho is like tomato, cucumber. It's like a salad, but in a soup. It's very good. So you can choose whichever you want. And then if you ever visit Madrid, well, this is basically, qué bonito es Madrid. Madrid is beautiful, basically. So does anyone want to know a sentence that might help them? Am I allowed to pick someone randomly to ask them what they... You there. Oh, gentleman. And then a lady, of course. Jaden. ¿Cuál es tu nombre? ¿Cuál es tu nombre? Everything. Good. And so I say Martin. Now girls. Well, you. Front row, the one that's looking backwards. So people in the back. Yeah, you. No, the girl behind you. Four minutes. Okay, come on quickly. My time is up. Huh? What? What did she say? My name. Well, Jaden said, well, ask what your name is, so it's ¿Cuál es tu nombre? And nombre is actually name. So my name is Mi nombre es. My nombre, name, is is, well, it's quite similar to English actually now that I think about it. So, mi nombre es, what's your name? Daphne. Okay, never mind. Okay, bye-bye. That's pretty much it. So who's next? Oh, here. Wait, take the mic. Okay.
Thank you, Kai and Martin. If you want to know more about them and their countries, feel free to find them in 4B and 4C.
This is the end of our program and hope all of you enjoyed the sharing. May we now pass the mic to Mr. Mock for dismissal.